Welcome back to the ZERT Coffee and Chaos Podcast, the show where we talk about anything and everything relating to what it means to be a survivalist and a prepared individual in today's society. I'm your host, Chris Bartagone, ZP002. On the show with me today, returning special guest, Jon Patton from the Gun Collective. John, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Hello. I'm well, man. I am well. How are you, more importantly?
Good. I'm tired.
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah. You were on, I think it was last year before that or something. And we talked about a lot of things. I was on your show, you were on this show, and, we're over 100 episodes on this show now, obviously.
Wow.
Out on the Firearms Radio Network. Maybe, right. But I mean, are you doing podcasts weekly with your show?
I wish I was that consistent.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely not. I wish I was.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Sean mentioned to me right in the beginning. He was like, if you're going to be on, if I'm going to let you do this, you got to be consistent. I was like, you got it, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. And so I try and we put a show out every week, and this is the second show that I've recorded today, and I've got another one tomorrow. So because you and I we're both, our shows are on the Firearms Radio Network. So, I see when you have your show posted, and there was like a moment where you had like 6 episodes stacked, ready to go, scheduled. Yeah. And I think that's important when we do these shows, is to kind of have stuff in the hopper ready to go because life happens, man. And like you said, you wish you could be consistent, but you've got a lot going on over there.
Yeah. The podcast, I love doing it. It's just a lot to get everybody scheduled, and on top of all the other shit that I'm trying to juggle.
Right. Yeah. You're doing a lot.
There's a lot going on. I mean, right now we're doing 3 different shows, I guess, on TGC. We're doing TGC News. Yep. We've got reviews in the hopper, and we're back to doing a legal show called The Big 2A with Adam again.
I saw that, dude. I was so happy about seeing Adam come back.
It's so awesome to have him back in the mix. And now, he's basically running Second Amendment Foundation. He's like the head of it now, which is insane. That's awesome. So it's cool to have him on the channel. And then we've got GunCon planning and trying to have an actual adult life, trying to take care of myself. All the things that you're supposed to do.
Yeah. That don't get done, and you start to miss stuff. I hear you, man. I hear you. It is a challenge, right? So doing all of this, you've got to still figure out how to keep life in the balance there and not make sure you miss out on things. So let's kind of rewind a little bit here. So you got TGC News, which if you guys, let me just, before I get too far deep into that, folks, if you are not already following the Gun Collective on YouTube and on social media, please do me a favor and head over and hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell so you get notified when they put stuff out there. It used to be called something else with Adam, and now it's called.
So now it's the Big 2A.
Big 2A. Okay.
We were joking about names, and it was like, I don't know, what do we call this? Because it's it's very similar in format to TGC News, where it's like a recap and a roundup of the most important 2A stories. And, rather than try and play off the legal brief, because it's not that's what it used to be.
Right.
I don't know. It's all about big 2A stories. Okay. There you go. 2A. Got it.
Okay.
And we also do a short version called the Little 2A.
I like it. And now it's funny. I just did see a review that you guys did. So you're doing product reviews now. Is that on a different channel, or is that being put out on
TGC right now?
Okay.
I've thought about putting it on another channel and trying to grow another thing, but it's just, good Lord, the amount of crap that we have to try and grow is difficult.
So it's funny you mentioned that. So obviously we've got this channel, which is the OG ZERT channel that's been around since 2013. And I was putting podcasts up on this channel. And I talked to, I lean on people that have done this better and longer than me when it comes to this. My time in this firearms industry has always been working for manufacturers and selling widgets. Like, I'll sell the shit out of a widget. But learning this stuff, editing and whatnot, has never been in my wheelhouse, especially growing a social media channel like YouTube. And so I know that I had reached out to Sean, and he gave me some ideas, and I reached out to somebody else, and they actually recommended starting another channel. And funny, Sean echoed that because he started that second channel that he's got going up. I think it's Dangerous Freedom.
Yep. Yeah. I yelled at Sean for years to make another channel for review content.
Yeah. So, I have no idea if I'm doing this the right way or not, but the bottom line is that's the thing. And we can't, because of who we are and what we do in this space and the people that want to silence us. I mentioned to you when I saw your post about it, they're literally removing videos that have been in the ether for a decade. Saying, nope, you violated our community. We removed it. Great, dummies. It's already been out there. It's already been seen by the people that needed to see it. And now it's ridiculous.
I agree.
But, so the reviews is all done on here. You got the big 2A where now, is that one more consistent or just as consistent as your?
That's like every other week. And that's more so because Adam is so freaking busy. So we're doing that every other week. We're trying to get back into doing reviews really consistently. We got like 5 or 6 in line to go. And TGC News is every single week.
Okay. Now the best, and I got to tell you, I do love your 60-second gun news and
that's also, if you're like on Instagram all the time, we do 60-second gun news, 60-second gun reviews, and the little 2A specific for those platforms. We do a version tailored to the short form stuff. Same information, just very condensed.
Just very, very condensed. I mean, I see some of the stuff you put out there, and you've been a respected source, or I guess a very vetted source over the decade that I have known you. And I see some of the pistols you talk about, and one of the reviews I just saw you do, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. I mean, you did one on the Springfield, the Echelon there, and whether you like Springfield as a company or not, whether you like the gun or not, there was a lot of chatter around that firearm when it came out. Basically, like, it looked like a giant influencer push, and then nobody really talked about it anymore.
Right.
And it's just like, oh God, it looks so bad when that happens. I just got my hands on the Ruger RXM. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've shot that one yet, but
we have a review coming on that.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that pistol. I thought it
was going to hate it, but I really like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't go off in the holster or have any issues like that, I mean, the internet is a scary place. Social media is even worse, especially with these gun companies and the stuff that they put out there. But it's good to have guys like you out there, like Sean out there, that put information out that is informative and unbiased. I think that's what we need to do as people who talk about stuff on the internet, is be unbiased.
It's weird. You can't, it's not even enough to be unbiased anymore. You have to be like aggressively unbiased. Like, you have to shout from the rooftops how not biased you are, because no matter what, somebody will think you're being paid. Like the recent Echelon video, somebody was like, how much did they pay you to say this? I said, nothing, you dick.
That's the aggressive part of it.
Well, it's like, how dare you think that I got paid just because I gave a positive review on a gun that you may or may not like? Like, it's absurd. And there's like a subculture where if you're not, one of these larger review channels, then your opinion is just nonsense. And I find that weird. I find the mentality behind that very strange.
Yeah. And we've done a podcast about it. And I've done a video about it, about the SIG situation. And
how did that go?
Well, I mean, it went fine. I'm going to probably, piss people off, especially if they listen to this. And I am mad at SIG because I like SIG. And people may think that I'm a douchebag for doing that, but I want to like it. I hate the way that they did it. Right. I believe they really screwed themselves by the stance that they made about the situation that's happening. And they could have gotten a lot better reaction if they didn't. Now, where I'm going with this is whether SIG is smart or not with the posts that they keep making about this stuff, because obviously every single comment is, oh, how many days till it ends? And, you know, the funny thing is the person that made that comment about your echelon probably has never shot it. The people that make the comments, what's that? About the P320.
Weird.
Yeah, right. The person that made the comments about the P320 probably never owned a P320. Right? They just go out there and they stand on their soapbox for 15 minutes and think that they can come out with a funny comment and it's going to be great. I guess that's a challenge when it comes to these things, right? Like having to put the information out there in a, like you said, aggressive, unbiased way and make sure that you stay the course when it comes to that and not look like you're either being paid or not being paid. I mean, none of us really are. I mean, I got a Ruger RXM. I didn't get paid to do the review. I went to them and say, hey, I like this firearm. I'd like to work with you guys and see it. But I gave it an honest review based off of what my results were. I can tell you that the other firearm that I had to do a review on is a Rost Martin.
Sure.
I think it's a great price point gun, but it's not something that I would buy or I will carry. I'll make that very, very clear. When it comes to us providing information through social media, you got to walk a very, very tightrope, if you will.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think most people that watch our videos understand where I'm at. Yeah. I will I'll shit on anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't hold back what I think. And I've certainly pissed brands off by sharing what I actually think, but I don't know. The audience is so weird. It's almost like this subculture where it's cool to be shitting on people, I guess. I don't really know where it came from.
Yeah.
And there are some influencers at a different scale that do get paid to say positive things about stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And that's unfortunate, but it's weird to punish or harass other people and say that, I guess.
Right.
I think the key is to just continue making good, unbiased content and hope it all works out in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Give me a 60-second take on your opinion of that SIG situation. I mean, obviously I gathered from your facial expression
in 60 seconds.
All right, do it.
I mean, they should not have opened their fucking mouth. It was fine until they said something. And the way they tried to skirt blame doesn't look good. No. There's not an outcome with the statements that they've made. There's not an outcome that's positive for them.
Yeah.
Like them making that statement does not gain them anything.
No.
There were rumors that they were saying it because they were worried about losing some military contract. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
I find the whole thing just kind of fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know you. I'm sure you've shot a macro. I'm a big fan.
I have two of them sitting over there.
There you go. I love that gun. I really, really do. I have one of their SIG MCX regulators, which it's a weird gun to get used to, but when you live in a shit state, unfortunately you get stuck with what you can get. But I hope they do better. I hope they acknowledge that they screwed up and they move past it and move on. But I digress on that.
It sounded a lot like they were trying to avoid any amount of blame And, rather than giving specific examples, they just painted the whole thing with a broad brush. And it made people think that they were calling them liars.
Yeah.
And that sort of arguing with the customers is just never going to you're never going to win that.
No,
You're
not
look like a dick.
Right. Not on this scale. Not at the level that they're at. So
and I will say this. I don't necessarily believe that all 320s are a problem, or I don't know. I don't have proof, and I haven't sat through all of the videos out there where there may or may not be issues, whether or not a trigger got pulled. I don't know for certain.
Right.
But I doubt they do.
Right.
Exactly. They have certain knowledge of all of that.
Right.
Which is weird. Just shut the fuck up and it'll go away.
Exactly, dude. I'm so glad that you said that. And that's what I find a lot of people, they have that same kind of outlook on it. Now, will it go away at this point? I don't know. But again, you've shot yourself
like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like another 5 or 6 years because they did this.
Yeah, you're probably right, man. Well, you could always just buy a Glock and call it a day. But so it's safe to say that SIG's not coming to GunCon.
I mean, I would gladly have them there.
Okay, I like that.
To be a part of it, I would gladly have them there.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, with the exception of like some brands that were shitty to me, or I had bad business dealings with.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody's welcome.
Okay. All right.
Like there are a few companies I would absolutely fucking not have there, but generally speaking, most are welcome.
Okay, good. That's awesome. I love what you did last year, and I'm surprised that I'm invited back because I was a dickhead last year and I missed it. This is a public apology. Sorry, John. I double booked and I had a training class and I realized I was like, well, I can fly here and then fly there and I'll get 12 hours at GunCon. But I loved seeing what you did. I love seeing the turnout that you guys had. And I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for it's in a new location, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're in Cleveland this year. And the reason that I relocated it, because there's some not misunderstanding, but people just don't know. We outgrew Brownells. And not like the brand, just the physical location. Huge. We have a media only range day. We maxed that out on year 1. Last year was year 3. This will be year 4.
Wow.
We maxed that out 4 years ago. And the warehouse space that we have available in their location, we maxed that out now. And, the only way that the event continues to grow and evolve is to relocate it. And it did take me a long time to find the right location where people can carry their EDC.
Okay.
Because apparently convention centers are dickheads about that. But
yeah,
it took us some time. We found a spot for the convention space in Cleveland, Ohio. We have a media only range day going on. And yeah, it's kind of unlike any other event out there.
All right. So let's get into it. So now, is Brownell sad about it? Like, would they like, hey, we'll build a larger spot for you? I mean,
it would cost them so much money. I would be shocked because it would basically have to double the size of their range.
Okay.
That's a multi-million-dollar investment. I'm sure that they would rather have the event at their location. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they would rather that, but that's not really their decision to make without giving us more space.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So GunCon this year, Cleveland, Ohio. What are the dates?
So the big public day is June 28th.
Okay. June 28th. Now, where is this being held in Cleveland, Ohio for our listeners?
There's a place called the Twist Drill Building. Okay. And you can just go to guncon.net. All that info's there.
Okay.
The Twist Drill Building is sort of east side of downtown. Okay. And it's like just a couple blocks from Lake Erie, which is super cool.
That's awesome.
And it's like an old industrial building. We're going to have there's like a courtyard. We've got food trucks. The ticket cost includes your lunch for the day and a limited edition GunCon t-shirt. We do specific colors for whatever the year is. Okay. And So you'll get a t-shirt and lunch and then access to the event for $50.
$50. That's not bad at all.
Now, that's the same as it was last year.
Okay. And it's a 2-day event?
It's a 1-day event.
It is one day. And then one range day? Or that's all the same day?
So the media only range day is the day before, but that is not open to the public.
Only media. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't quite, and I know people will get upset about that. I haven't figured out how to make a public range day happen where you guys don't just fucking stand in line all day.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like, I have been to the SIG range days, and there was one in Arizona that I went to, and there's a couple other public range days that I've been to, and it ends up just being you pay money and then you stand in line.
Right.
That is awful. That's not fun.
That's not a great experience at all. Now, does it make sense to have it a second day? I mean, as you grow and get bigger, is there enough to where A, you've got enough vendors, and B, there's like, are they going to run out of time to see everything and experience everything?
I don't think we'll have that problem this year, but I think next year we're going to have to take a hard look at that.
Okay.
You know, we're definitely going to, there's a lot of ideas being tossed around for what next year looks like already. We haven't gotten through this year's event.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. You got to get through this year. So how many attendees last year? Can you put that out there?
I want to say we ended up with like 1,500-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood.
That's awesome. It
was jam-packed. It was packed.
Yeah.
We had a line that was like 300 or 400 people deep at whatever, like when the doors open. It was insane.
That's great. All right. So for $50, you get a t-shirt, entrance to the event, lunch. I mean, and you get to see some cool companies. I've seen some of the companies that you've listed, and they're all listed on guncon.net. So if you're wondering what vendors are going to be there, you can head over there and see that. But I've seen some of them, and there's some wild companies there, man. Like, good stuff.
A really good variety of brands this year.
Okay.
You know, we've got everything from parts manufacturers to gun manufacturers. I don't know if we have an ammo company this year. I can't remember. But we've got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's kind of what makes GunCon special.
Yeah.
And we've got some brands that are talking about releasing new products, or at the very least showing it for the first time publicly at the event, which is super freaking cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And on top of that, we do live Q&A panels throughout the day. So not only will there be all the brands and all that sort of crap, but we'll also have these Q&A panels. We've got the Second Amendment panel, which is Guns and Gadgets, Armed Scholar, Legally Armed America. Those are the content creators. Then we've got Kraut from Second Amendment Foundation, Travis White from FRAC, which is Firearms Regulatory Accountability Coalition. Okay. They're fighting in a different way, and they're awesome.
Yep.
Then we've got Eric Pratt from GOA, and we've got Jon Comerford from NRA ILA. So we've got the 2A groups well represented.
Interesting. I'm going to stop you there for a second, because I remember seeing the post about the NRA.
Yeah.
And I believe if go back to that comment about companies that, you know, there was issues with NRA, right? Like, there was So, and that stems from one of the NRA conventions when you had the panel there, right?
Yeah. That was in Atlanta. We had a standing room only crowd. It was bonkers. And it was just a panel.
Yeah.
And they accused us of electioneering to get Adam on the board. And they were fighting us tooth and nail to keep Adam out, which was super weird.
That is weird.
But now he's at Second Amendment Foundation, so it doesn't matter.
Right. So, all right. So the final verdict was to let NRA come back in and
kind of surprisingly, the public voted in favor of having them there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said they wanted them to be on a panel. And being that this is not big NRA, it's NRA ILA, the Institute for Legislative Action.
Yeah.
I felt a little more comfortable with that. And Jon Comerford is, from what I understand, I don't know John very well, but I understand that he's been doing some good things for the Second Amendment. And he said they're willing to hear what the people have to say. And where it's not going to, that particular panel is not going to be all about bashing NRA, because that'd be a waste of time.
Right.
But, you know, the things will come up and it's fine. You know, I'm not afraid to let people roast them because I've done it personally.
Right. I do envy you for some of that. So I am going to live vicariously through you on for that panel. I got to say something about the armed scholar. I mean, I hope to have a conversation with him at some point and be like, dude, can you dumb it down for people like me? Like the ones who look dumb, like, can you please, like you get in there and you're talking about stays and injunctions. And I'm just like, holy shit, can we get the abridged version for the Neanderthal types like myself?
That's what we're trying to do with Adam. Like the legal brief was that.
Okay.
We still have the ability to do it as frequently as before.
Yeah.
You know, and guys like those content creators I mentioned, Jared, Anthony, and Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting out so much content with Second Amendment stuff. It's absurd.
Oh, it is.
I don't know how they keep, like, they don't, like, how do you have an effing life?
Right. Like you read through this stuff and how do you not immediately want to drink alcohol because it's just mind boggling to try and decipher some of that. Now, granted, that's their world, so they probably understand it a lot more, but I feel like if they could come out for the, for the uninformed person or the not legally educated person to where it say, listen, this is what this means in a way that they can fully understand it. I'm always trying to look at the spectrum of the audience and make sure that they don't get lost. But all right, so that's your legal panel, right? I guess that's the and then you've got a couple others.
And then we've got the next gen panel, which is creators that are sort of up and coming. And I'm going to try to name all of them because I'm bad at this and I don't remember exactly. So Amber G. Johnson, she's a newer creator. Oh, you know what? No, sorry. I'm like jumping around here. So Amber G. Johnson, Johnny B, Tactical Advisor, Luke Cuenco, Got Gamage, and Tactical Considerations. And we may be adding one person to that. I'm not quite sure yet. But those people are up and coming. They've got some great content. And, we're just trying to represent the next, literally the next generation.
Yeah. Johnny B, man, that dude, I mean, I remember sitting at lunch with him back in IV 88 days. This goes back to 2016. The one where you rolled up in the port.
Oh man, what an epic decision that was for me.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's what I think. That was like the unveiling of that, and it's right behind you. That little multicolored AR.
That year?
Yeah, I believe you did.
That sounds about right. But
yeah, I believe you did. That was when we got the bags of it was Whitey and I think it was Falcor that did the mag extensions, the mag releases, not mag extensions. Yeah. So, that was back then. And sitting down with Johnny B and look at him now. I mean, I love his stuff, and he's gone. Talk about a guy who's kind of evolved or metamorphosized from a caterpillar to a butterfly, back to a caterpillar. Like his channel has gone through so many kind of iterations to what it is now, right? Like it started off as the didn't he wear the boa for a while? Like he
had all these characters, and he was doing Gun Drama Johnny.
That's it.
And he had all kinds of stuff, and some was more successful than others. And now he's rocking and rolling, man. It's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I've been fortunate enough to know Johnny for a long time, and seeing him find this sort of version of himself for the internet it's super cool.
Yeah, and he's a good dude. I like him a lot. All right, so that's your next gen panel, and what's the other one?
The other one is called the Elite panel, and that's the guys that have been doing guys and gals that have been doing content creation or kind of been around forever and either have giant audiences or just been around a long time. So we've got myself. I'll be sitting on I moderate all the panels, so I'm there anyway. But we got Ashley Lebinsky, who is just incredible with firearms knowledge from years ago. Used to work at the Cody Museum. I think she's got more. She's got so many things going on. It's crazy. Ashley will be there. VSO Gun Channel. Curtis will be there. Sean Heron, great friend of ours. He will be on that panel. Then we've got Tactical Toolbox, Mr. Guns and Gear, and Kevin Dixie. And we may be adding someone to that.
Gotcha. VSO, are those, is that the holster manufacturer as well? Oh, no, it's QVO. Sorry.
QVO. Yeah. VSO Gun Channel is my buddy Curtis. Curtis is super, super smart, and we're right down the road from his house. Curtis has been making content since, I want to say, 2013. Like he and I started on YouTube around the same time, and he stuck with his original channel, and that's VSO.
Okay, gotcha. It's so wild you say that. It's funny that the ZERT channel, when I start looking at the analytics of, and you and I, obviously we talked about content creation leading up to this, and just to look back, I look at some of the other creators out there right now and some of the other channels, and I'm just blown away by the traction that they're able to get in such a short period of time.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Some guys have really, really taken off.
Yeah, it's just insane to see that. Where ZERT's been around, I think, since this will be year 14 for ZERT. So it's been around for that long, and it's just insane. But okay, so that's that panel, the elite panel, and is that it, or is there one more?
So there's no more panels. However, this is actually the first time I'm talking about this.
Okay. All right.
We're going to have a fireside chat, and we haven't exactly figured out how it's going to look. I haven't promoted this at all yet, but we're going to have a fireside chat with Attorney General Andrew Bailey of Missouri. He's the state level attorney general, and they're coming to GunCon. They wanted to be there. They reached out to me and said, "Hey, can we be there?" I said, "Abso-effing-lutely." Now, for context, this is the dude that sued China and won like billions from China. Wow. Has successfully sued, I believe it was Meta, Instagram, Facebook, all that. The Biden administration. This dude is all about no censorship. They're gun people on his team, and I was happy to have them involved.
That's great. That's huge. It's important to start getting those kinds of legislative people involved, like the political people that on our side. We need more of it. We need more of it.
So highlighting them is important.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So when you say fireside chat, is that just kind of,
it'll be more casual. It'll be in between panels. Yep. So that'll be in the afternoon. But it'll be kind of Q&A style, a little bit of interview style. It'll be a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and an opportunity to get to talk to somebody that is actively fighting for the rights of people in the U.S. And I just think it's going to be awesome because he's great.
That sounds awesome. All right. So that's good. Now, are those panels spread out throughout the day, or?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the 2A panel is, I believe, at 11 a.m. Doors open at 10. Then 11 is when the 2A panel kicks off. Then we've got lunch. We'll have food trucks outside. We're going to shut down the street. We're going to have a bunch of food trucks show up for lunch for everybody around noon. Then later in the afternoon is the next gen panel. Then we have the fireside chat. And then we will have the elite panel and sort of shut everything down. And when we shut everything down, we'll then transition to doing giveaway announcements with the brands that are doing giveaways, because I pretty much tell everybody, hey, you got to do this. The fireworks. I don't know what's
happening right here. We got fireworks. We got thumbs up.
It's because I was sitting with my thumb up. That's why it was doing it. There you go.
That is not it, folks. That is not a distress signal. John is okay.
So, we'll do some giveaway announcements. I pretty much tell everybody, hey, you should give something away. I did the bulk of the organization of that before, and I said, not this year.
No,
yeah, you do it on your own.
Yeah, that's smart.
We're giving away tons and tons of stuff at the event. Lots of new products being announced, and tons of content creators that you can come and meet and hang out with, and just build the community stronger. The whole reason for GunCon is to make the community stronger together.
Right, and that's important. We're all in it, and that's, I guess, going back to what we were talking about, where you've got people who follow gun companies because they like those companies infighting with other people. We're constantly fighting within our community over dumb shit, and that's it's just so enraging. Like, we've got enough of a fight with the people that want to take our rights and diminish what we fight so hard for. We don't need to fight amongst ourselves over stupid shit. People are allowed to have different opinions. If I don't like a Springfield Echelon, great. I can tell you about it. I cannot tell you about it. But for you to sit there and bash me because I do, it just seems ridiculous. And I, to your point, I don't know when this started, but the fight's elsewhere.
Well, it's manufactured anger. You know, the media at large. I don't like using the term mainstream media because it was more than just mainstream media. It was, you know, people like Charlie Kirk who go on social media just to dunk on somebody.
Right.
It's clearly not intelligent. You know, that idea has been going on for over a decade now, and people are just angry and they love being angry. People have gotten addicted to being angry.
Yeah.
So if they're not angry about Democrats or whatever, they're angry about something else.
Right.
They all, like, when there is no anger in their life, they don't know what to do. So they're angry all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have a fight. They don't have a battle to pick or an opinion to share and try and sway that other person. Like, arguing about some of this stuff is the most ridiculous thing. Like, you know, sports teams, religions, politics, it makes no sense. It creates just a horrible, toxic environment. And, you know, the media fuels it. It's funny you bring up Charlie Kirk. I enjoy listening to him at times. I don't know if you know, I don't know if you do or not.
Seems like a smart guy.
He seems like a very smart guy. What's interesting to me is he's an autodidact. So he graduated high school and he read books. He didn't go to college. And you listen to him talk and pull out facts, and you're like, holy shit, like, this dude read a lot of books. And that's why I think that's where he started, because he went to college campuses and talked about how colleges are a scam. You don't actually learn anything. And obviously,
and I agree.
Right. But the interesting thing is he was just on Gavin Newsom's podcast.
Why does Gavin Newsom have a fucking podcast?
Well, that's the big question. That is the big question.
What the fuck is that?
It was, dude, I mean, it was awesome. Like, Charlie was, it was the worst person to pick for your podcast. And I think it was like one of his first episodes, he decides to bring Charlie Kirk on the show. And Charlie went right at him about some of the shit that he has been alleged to have done. And, you know, the whole trans in sports thing, like, he went right at him. And the speculation is that Gavin is obviously jockeying for position in 2028. And he's trying to be like, yeah, well, the Democrat Party screwed up, and, you know, try and become favorable. And it's like, no, dude, you're the SIG of that situation. Like,
he's just a smarmy fuck. Like, people don't like Gavin Newsom.
No, you're
like,
right.
That kind of, his personality is not going to fly in the Midwest.
No, it's not. You're right. 100%. Not. And it's, I feel like it's really only going to fly in California, maybe Oregon, and maybe different parts of it. But, you know, Charlie Kirk, whether he was obviously very big during the election situation. He was out there and he was trying to, you know, just push the narrative and get people out to vote. And whether that's what helped or not, it's just, I have not seen what you just said, where he's out there just to go on and dunk on people. But
what I'm referencing is, like, back when Obama was president. Like, that's when this shit started. And he was out there and encouraging culture where it's like, Charlie Kirk dunks on, or he owns such and such Democrat. That sort of shit is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about now. He is just sort of taking this stance where I guess it's not really a stance. He's sitting at a table and allowing people to ask him questions and then having a conversation, or attempting to. It was the sort of very adversarial approach that he did on college campuses all those years ago. And that has been picked up, and now we see it on scale. It's not just him. It's everywhere. It's, let's go ask somebody who is undereducated. Let's go ask them a question and then harass them and embarrass them on the internet. That's what it seems to have become.
Yeah, you're right. And I do have to say that I don't understand. It's like the guys in our space that open carry their AR into a target So they so they get confronted by the police, and then they on video sit there and challenge it all and throw out, citing this, and I don't need to give you my ID.
Sovereign citizen. No, you're an idiot.
Right. And it's just like, you don't need to do it. You don't need to make the statement, Sig. You don't need to put out the video, Johnny from, Nashville, Tennessee, about you open carrying your AR in the Walmart parking lot. Like, you don't need to do it. Trust me. There's other ways you can get views on the on the internet if you so choose to do that. But be constructive, be creative.
That points to the anger.
Right.
Points to people wanting to be angry and creating environments where others can be angry.
Right.
Like encouraging the rage bait. It's no longer clickbait, it's rage bait.
Yes. And, like Sig, these people hope that the comment section goes the way that they want it to. And most of the time, it does not. It goes the other way, and they look stupid. Mm-hmm. And I implore people to please don't look stupid. Try to be better with it. But,
asking the public to not be stupid is like asking me not to shoot big dumb guns.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, let's go. Let's focus right on that. What is the most recent big dumb gun you have shot?
That is a very difficult. I'm trying to think back to the big, like, what's dumb. We just did a review. I have a review coming on a $7,200 2011.
Oh my God.
That's expensive.
Jesus. That's insane.
I guess you could call that dumb if you, depending on how you look at that.
Right. Yeah.
I have been collecting a weird series of guns. So I'm after all of the Automags. I have the Automag 2, which is a 22 Magnum. I have the Automag 3, which is a 30 carbine in a pistol.
Yeah.
Then I skipped the 4 because it's 44 Automag, and that's a terrible cartridge. Then there's the Automag 5, which is a 50 AE, and it looks like a 1911 sort of. I got those, and then I was like, well, what else? Well, then there's the LAR Grizzly, and the LAR Grizzly is a 1911. It looks just like a 1911, but they chambered it in a whole bunch of stuff. I have so far the 10 mil, which is like a 6-inch barrel. And then there's, I just picked up the 357 Magnum, which is a 5-incher. And then they also did a 44 Magnum and a 50 AE. So I've got to get all those.
Of course.
I also have a Javelina. It's an AMT Javelina. It's part of their Hardballer series.
Yeah.
Like 7-inch, 10 mil, 1911.
Wow.
I don't know why, but I bought it.
I like it. I'm for me, it's bad that I'm working with Ruger now, because I don't want them to say, sure, we'll send that to you. The Red Hawk Super Alaskan.
Oh, you don't want to do that to yourself.
I do. I want to appendix carry it chambered in.
I've shot one. You don't want that.
I want it in 454 Casull, and I want to appendix carry it at daily.
You're so stupid. So fucking dumb. Don't do that.
That gun. And it's so funny, when I was talking to Eric from Ruger, he was like, we make like 10 of them a year. Like, they don't sell.
Yeah, they do not sell. There's the ones with the wood grips. I shot a regular Alaskan. I don't know if it was the Super Red Hawk Alaskan or whatever. The longer barrel one. I shot one of those, and it had wood grips.
Okay.
I've never felt the sort of tang or whatever, the back strap. I've never felt metal accelerate into my palm so fast.
That's great. Oh, that's awesome. Ruger has obviously been around for a minute. I just was on their website the other day because I had to get some information for that Ruger RXM video, and they came out with their it's not their PCC. I think it's their FCC. That's their like folding carbine. It looks very much like that.
Wesson.
No, Ruger has one as well. Check it out.
Hang on. What's it called? Is it a rifle?
It is a rifle.
The LC carbine? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it is their their LC carbine. Sorry. Yes, their LC carbine. It's interesting. I'm not a fan of the look of that rifle. I don't know. Have you ever gotten hands on that thing?
I have. I'm not super jazzed on it. I don't like that style of gun that much.
I don't either, right? So like we're talking aesthetics. I hate to say that I don't like the way that it looks, but again, I've not shot one of them, but I know that they have it in a 5.7, which is probably my most disappointing caliber. It's like the child you have that is just not as smart and pretty as your others.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. I think it looks a bit chonky for what it is, but I guess people are into it. And if you have a Ruger pistol, it uses Ruger pistol mags, so that going for you.
Yeah. You just did bring up Smith and Wesson, and have you worked with those folks over there?
So I used to, and then they had sent me. It was so weird. They'd sent me like 5 guns one year to do reviews on, and then the marketing team swapped out as is tradition at these big companies.
Right.
And I haven't been able to get them to respond to an email since. I saw them in person, talked to one of the guys I know, and still can't get a response.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. I spent a couple of social capital coins to try and get an email out. I got the email out. Yeah, zero communication. And you would think they would want to hear from people like you, especially like you, that have, been doing this long enough. Again, Smith & Wesson's another company that annoys me because I love their firearms. They're a great platform. Their M&P line is amazing, but yet they missed the boat on a few things when it comes to the arena that they are in, like your subcompact pistol, like your Shield Plus, whether you're going to comp it or whatnot, you're failing miserably with that market of customers. Like you're losing market share to the macros and the 48 48s and 43Xs, even the Hellcat. Like you're not competing in the right frame there. And I would love to talk to somebody over there and be like, just what were you thinking? Like, why did you not think to put an accessory rail on a Shield so somebody could hang a TLR7 off of it like they do with the macro, the 48, or the Hellcat? I don't know. I mean, and maybe that's me just being a naive person when it comes to this side of the world, of the industry, if you will. But I don't know. Has that just drove you crazy for a decade plus doing this?
What driven me crazy?
Like engineers from these firearm companies that you have worked with, like not taking feedback or asking the right questions.
I don't even think they're listening. I don't even think they care about feedback.
Well, you've brought it up a few times in the last 6 months, at least, that I've seen, when it comes to buying a new firearm, opening the box and getting one magazine.
Yeah, that's horseshit. In a couple of the reviews I have coming out, I called it a war crime not to have more than 3 magazines in the box. 3 at least. Right.
I know that the Ruger that I got had 2.
Yeah, mine had 2 as well.
2, right. And again, I can't tell you the last time. I think most of them are coming with 2.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the last time. Was there ever a time that they came with 3?
Who? Which company?
Well, any. I mean,
they'll do like special runs. Like I think Springfield does like the Gear Up, or Smith & Wesson does it too, where you get like 5 mags, an optic, and this and that. Like some companies will do those special things, but like I'm talking about standard.
Right.
I got a Browning high power from EAA, 1 mag.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is that? It's a $600 gun.
Right.
Why? Why are we doing this? And then I said the same thing applied for rifles. And people threw a shit fit when I said it.
Really? Why?
Yeah, they're like, well, I already have AR mags. I was like, that's not the point.
First of all, why are they arguing against that? Like, why would a person buying an AR argue against the fact that, or there it is, maybe it's just I need to argue against.
I think people, it's the anger. I think people see it as it will increase the cost. And I know for certain that adding 2 more PMags is not going to raise the actual cost to the manufacturer a significant amount.
Right.
To where they're losing a shitload of margin. Like, get the fuck out of here. Stop. Just put more mags in there.
Right. Just do a service for the people.
Deliver more value to the customer, and it'll be fine.
Yep. and people will be happy, and they won't be angry, and they won't have to rage against your
nonsense.
Nonsense. Yeah, absolutely.
Your war crimes against humanity for not putting 3 mags in the box.
Yeah. Here, I got another idea.
Okay.
Take the cable lock out.
Oh my gosh.
Scrap the cost of that. Add the magazine. Win.
Those are like a nickel.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And nobody
immediately in the trash.
Exactly. It's the first thing that everyone throws away.
Oh, here's a lock in the trash.
Right. Oh God, it's horrible. Horrible. I wish they would
lock.
What's that?
It's not even a good lock.
No, it's not. It's not. And who
bare minimum.
Who uses them? Does anybody use those?
I'm sure somebody does.
Oh, amazing. Shocking.
I mean, there's got to be like a 1/10% that use it.
Yeah, probably. So all right, so we covered the dumb guns. As I keep these to an hour, John. So I hope that works for you. And as we get to the end of it, what are you carrying these days? Where are you at on the firearms carry? If you say a staccato, I'm going to smack myself in the face. But
my staccato has not made its way back to me just yet from Monsoon Tactical. He's doing a bunch of work to it. Okay. I will not be carrying that gun.
Okay, all right.
I don't plan to carry a 2011 style gun at all. They're just too big.
Right.
They're so much fun to shoot. So much fun. I don't plan to carry one.
Okay. All right.
My daily driver right now is still a VP9. It has been for a long time. I am in search of something different.
Okay.
Look at the macro. I've been looking at the new MC9 Prime from Canik. I've kind of been considering doing some mods to the Bodyguard 2.0 to see if I can feel comfortable carrying that. The new Ross Martin RM1S, I might consider that. We've shot so many good guns.
Yeah.
I just haven't landed on one that I'm like, hell yes, I'm going to carry that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gone back and forth, and last year I did have an issue. I was at a VTAC class up at SIG, and it was an EDC class, and I brought my macro to the range, and I had failures all day. I couldn't get through a string of drills. I know. Now, what I will say is that firearm did not start its life as a macro. It started as a 365 XL. And that
shouldn't matter.
Okay, but so I took the fire control unit out. I replaced the barrel with a SIG barrel and put it all together, and it was a gold tin barrel because that was the only thing they had. Dude, I couldn't get through a string of drills without having failure to extracts. Now, immediately, I wanted to blame the ammo, which used to enrage me when I worked for ammo companies, and they were like, "That's the ammo." Now it was Winchester white box.
Well, there's your problem.
Well, I mean, sure, it is, but I put that firearm away that day, and the rest of the day, you know what I ran? A P320. And it ate all of that ammunition, and I had zero problems with it. I ran a Glock for just a B-roll clip, ran no problem. I took that same ammo back and tested it with its original configuration, and it worked fine.
So it's the barrel.
I believe that's what somebody said, that it could be the tolerances from that barrel.
Yeah, that's the thing that stands out to me, is that tin coating is probably too thick.
Yeah. So I have had zero issues with my macro since. I did, because I was mad at Sig Daddy, I did put it away because of their stance. Like, I felt like if I had a problem, they were going to call me anti-2A, and I was like, kick rocks. And so I did bring the 48 MOS back, and I mean, I love my Glock 48, but I'm always curious to hear what other folks out there are carrying. You mentioned Canik. There's been a lot of good talk about their pistols.
They're good.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, Canik pistols are pretty damn good.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a bunch of them. They're really fun. I also really like the Walther PDP. We had the PDP match in the metal and the polymer frame. Both were excellent.
Yeah. I'm
trying to think. I mean, if you're looking for a 2011 style gun, the one to get is the Bull Armory. Those are amazing.
Yeah. I've always had a staccato on my list of things that I want to get. And I don't know if it's because I like a 2011 or because everyone talks so great about a staccato or a 2011 in general. Eventually I will get back to picking up more firearms, but I actually sold some guns last year just because, how many are you going to carry? How many are you going to take to the range? The safe started.
Carry all of these behind me. I carry them every time.
Right. All of it. I like all guns. It's hard for me to just pick one. I love a Glock just like I love an M&P and I want to love my SIGs again, but until they fix something there, I'm not going to. Lastly, because the last time we talked about it and I want to hear, tell me about the battle wagon.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So that's a even longer story now.
Oh no.
It's basically just not done yet. It's sitting in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And waiting on an interior to be finished.
Oh wow. Okay.
I had some nonsense where people said they were going to be able to do something, did not do it. I waited months for parts, and here we are even more months later and stuff's just not done yet. It's not the guy who's building it. It's not his fault at all, which is nice.
Right.
We're finally starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm hoping maybe GunCon, maybe it'll be there. I don't know.
All right. Okay. But remind me, wasn't that your daily driver?
It was. I bought a new daily driver that was way cheap.
Okay.
I bought a 98 Avalon. Like
nice
old man car, and I
built like a tank.
Those as dark as I could.
Right, built like a tank. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
okay.
I love Toyotas.
Yeah.
So I bought an old Avalon to drive around in while the van is getting worked on, and thank God I did it because the van's been sitting for months.
Oh, that would really bother me. Yeah, listen, before my time in this industry, I was in the automotive industry, and I was a service manager for Toyota, and those cars, they're built to last.
Yeah, that 3-liter V6 will just run forever.
Yeah, I've got a Ram right now, and I can't tell you how many times last year I wanted to trade that in for a 4Runner, and I kept waiting and waiting and waiting because the new generation of the 4Runner was going to come out,
right.
And then they released it, and I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, womp on that. Not cool.
Dude, 4-cylinder,
they did not do a great job on that.
No, they did not. So I'm so bummed what they did there, but who knows? Listen, you can't beat the Avalon, you can't beat the battle wagon, and you can't beat GunCon. So
there you go. We got 3.
There we got all 3 there. But listen, folks, thank you for spending some time with myself and with John. And we're gonna give you some information about GunCon in the comments below. We'll put some links in there so you guys can get out or get over to the website, buy a ticket. Hopefully, we see you there. You can probably get more information. I'm sure. Are you adding more vendors?
All the time.
All the time. Okay. So that list will constantly be updated. The website will constantly be updated. Last question about it. If they don't get tickets on the website, can they get them at the event?
I don't know yet. If the tickets sell out, then no.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to be able to sell them all, but if they're not sold out, you might be able to get one at the door. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. Well, folks, John, any final comments, any final words?
See you at GunCon. Hopefully that would be rad. I would appreciate it if you guys made it out.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, until next time, you stay safe, stay prepared. ZP002